The stock market, it can feel like this super complicated maze, right? Full of confusing charts and technical jargon. But what if I told you we could understand the whole thing with a simple story from the school playground? Let's break it all down.
I mean, just imagine for a second. What if all those crazy financial headlines were really just about a game of trading marbles and rare cards during recess? That is the exact analogy we're going to use to make sense of everything. So, let's step onto the playground.
Okay, first things first. Every game has its players, its pieces, and of course, a place to play. So let's get to know who's who on this financial playground of ours.
All right, so to even get in the game, you've got to have something to trade, right? In the world of finance, we call this capital. Just think of it as your starter kit, your bag of marbles, your coolest trading cards, or hey, even just a really great idea. It's what you bring to the table to trade for even better stuff down the line.
Now, you can't just trade anywhere on the playground. The stock market is simply the official spot where everyone agrees to meet up and make their swaps. It's basically that one corner of the playground, you know the one, where all the action is going down.
And of course, to make sure nobody's cheating, you have the exchange. Think of an exchange as the playground monitor. It's actually a private business that makes the trades happen, ensures everyone is playing by the rules, and gives a big thumbs up when a deal is officially done.
So who's the most important player in this whole game? Well, that's you. You are the investor. Your goal is to put your marbles and cards to work. Maybe you trade a common card today for a much rarer one tomorrow. Or maybe you're after a dividend, which is kind of like your friend giving you a piece of their snack every single day, just for being on their team. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. Your marbles and cards, that's your capital. The trading corner, that's the stock market. The playground monitor is the exchange, and you're the investor. Simple enough, right? Now that we know who all the players are, it's time to learn the rules of the game.
All right, we know who's on the field. So, how is this game actually played? How do these trades really happen on the playground? Let's dive into the rules.
Well, a trade only happens when you hit something called equilibrium. And really, it's just that perfect fair trade moment. If you want 5 marbles for your trading card, and someone out there is willing to give you exactly 5 marbles for it, bam! You've reached equilibrium. The deal is made.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. What if your card suddenly becomes super popular? Imagine 5 different kids all want that one card you have, and they all want to trade for it right now. What do you think happens to the price?
You guessed it. The price goes way up. Buyers will start offering more, maybe 6 marbles, then 7, anything to tempt someone to sell. This bidding war keeps going until a new, higher fair trade price is found. And that balance, that equilibrium, is back.
Now, every single trade has this little what-if factor hanging over it, and that's called risk. It's the chance that your super popular card today might be totally uncool tomorrow, which would make it worth less. Or it could become even more wanted if, say, a new cartoon makes that character a star and its value goes through the roof. That, in a nutshell, is risk.
Okay, so we've got the players, we've got the rules. Now for the fun part. How do you actually play to win? Let's talk strategy. First off, you need somewhere to keep all your loot, right? Well, your portfolio, that's basically just your backpack. It's simply the collection of all your different investments, all the cards and marbles and everything else that you own.
And this leads us to maybe the most important strategy of all. Let's call it the rule of the golden basket. You never ever put all your best cards into just one series. Why not? Well, think about it. If that one type of card suddenly becomes unpopular, you could lose a whole lot of value fast.
Now, this strategy has a fancy official name. It's called diversification. It's a lot like building a team for a tournament. You wouldn't just pick one star player, would you? No way. You pick players with different skills, so that no matter what the other team throws at you, your team has a chance to win.
So what does that actually look like? Well, instead of your backpack being stuffed with nothing but robot cards, a diversified backpack has a good mix. You've got some robot cards, sure, but also some dinosaur cards, a few sports cards, and maybe even a couple rare marbles just for good measure. That way, if robots go out of style, you're still totally in the game with everything else you own.
So you've got all this trading happening all over the playground. It's awesome chaos. But there's got to be a way to keep score, right? How do you actually know if you're doing well compared to everyone else?
I mean, it's a super important question for any player, right? You need some kind of benchmark, some way to measure how you're doing against the average of all the other kids on the playground. It's the only way to know if you're really ahead of the game.
Well, in the stock market, that benchmark has a name. It's called an index.
And the absolute easiest way to think about it is like the top traders list that gets posted on the school wall. It shows the average performance of a big group of players, so everyone has a standard to compare themselves against.
And in the real world, trust me, you hear about these things all the time. Two of the biggest ones are the S&P 500, which keeps track of 500 of the largest companies in the US, and the NASDAQ Composite Index, which has a lot of tech companies in it.
So let's see how this actually works. Let's say the value of everything in your backpack, all your cards and marbles, went up by 2%. Then you go check the leaderboard, the index, and you see the market average only went up by 1%. What's the result? Hey, congratulations, you just beat the market.
So there you have it. We've covered the players, the rules, the winning strategies, and even how you keep score. We've taken this big, complex financial system and turned it into a simple playground game. So now that you know the rules, the real question is, what's your first move going to be?